Next up, we have Tim Riley and his team at Laclede Chain. Again, during this presentation, please post your questions in the Q&A section, and Laclede will answer your questions at the end of their session. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Tim and Laclede Chain.
All right, welcome. I'm Tim Riley, CEO of Laclede Chain, and I'm excited to be here with you all today. Many of you know our business and know the focus we put toward deeply learning and understanding our customers. We know safety is paramount and people deserve to live and work securely. This focus has led us to innovate internally for our employees and externally for our customers. What we have to show you today is a byproduct of that innovation. Before leading Laclede Chain, I spent over 20 years guiding international teams in the US, Germany, and China for Siemens Automation and to increase product traceability for customers. And now I'm seeing that need for traceability and proactive reliability in more industries than ever before. Today's presentation is going to show you how we proactively protect both our employees and customers through the use of a virtual reality technology called the HoloLens, along with some other systems that we've developed right here at Laclede Chain. Tools like these give our customers, as well as your customers, the confidence and reliability they've expected from us for the past 166 years. Joining me today on the panel, we have Eric Kazmerzak, our Rigging and Trailer Industries Sales Director.
Good afternoon.
Robert or Bo Nupp, our Chief Operations Officer.
Good afternoon.
And Melissa Searle, our Product Development Engineer.
Good afternoon.
And these are all key members of our team at Laclede Chain. Later in this presentation, we're also going to be joined by Phil Brayman, our Engineering Director, for a special demonstration from our Maryville plant. If you think of a question at any time during our talk, please send us a chat, and we'll be sure to answer it during our QA at the end of the presentation. So to kick us off, Bo's going to show you how we use the HoloLens internally. With the HoloLens, you'll be able to see through the eyes of Laclede inspectors, giving you visibility into our quality control process like never before. Then you'll get to see what happens when chain is pulled past this breaking point. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bo. Take it away, Bo.
So what is the HoloLens? The HoloLens is one way we're working smarter these days at Laclede Chain Manufacturing. This ultimate mixed reality device helps our maintenance department and gives our customers real-time visibility into their quality control process. And today, you'll be experiencing this technology firsthand. We'll be showing you two areas of our quality department: proof testing and pull testing to destruction. The HoloLens is a certified protective eyewear that's made to withstand industrial environments. This augmented reality, which offers immersive interaction with remote support. Our quality control technician, Jesse, or any Laclede team member using this device can view documents, prints, and 3D CAD models in real time. Now let's go experience traceability firsthand with our HoloLens. At Laclede, every 6th link of chain is stamped with a unique trace code. If you were to have an issue with your chain, the trace code is what you would reference. All of our testing data is tied to that code. We test every link of chain twice, once after welding, then again during proof testing. We store all the critical weld data for each link, as well as the force at the proof tester for every pull of 2 times working load limit. All of this data is saved and archived and can be easily referenced if a customer has an inquiry.
Bo, could you please describe the system that we use to archive all of this data?
Yes. Our proprietary quality system is called ChainSpection. We developed this system in-house specifically to meet the needs of our team, but also our customers. And we're continuously making updates and improvements as the needs evolve.
Thanks, Bo. Now, can we take a look at each step of the chain making process to see how it all comes together?
Sure thing, Eric. So all chain starts out as steel rod. When the rod is loaded on our Foreman weld group, the job number barcode is scanned, which links it to the trace code as well as the bin box that we're manufacturing. This step in the process links the material supplier and therefore material composition and properties to what will eventually become your chain. During the process of forming and welding the rod into chain, critical process data is stored for future access. Once the box is completed, it's weighed off and tracked to its next destination.
So Bo, typically the next destination is our heat treater for our through hardened products like our LA chain and our transport chain. Could you describe how that works?
Yes, but before we get to heat treat, first we calibrate the chain to make sure that the length, or what we call the pitch of each link, is consistent. Then we go on to heat treating. All transport and alloy chain is sent through our continuous induction heating, quenching, and tempering line. Chain is heated to over 1600 degrees Fahrenheit, water quenched, and then tempered at over 400 degrees Fahrenheit. This all occurs in less than 20 seconds. From here, the chain will then be proof tested using our automated system.
Now, let's take an in-depth look at one of our proof testers.
Yes, the proof testing process tests the strength of the chain, specifically concentrating on the welded section. If there is a proof test that fails under the required limit, the process is stopped and more details regarding the break are recorded in the system. At this point, the quality assurance technician will take and destruct test each end of the chain until each side passes 2 full destruct tests. Once both ends are quality verified, then the chain will be manually joined with a quick link, which will then be re-welded at a future stage of the process. But this type of destruct test is not only done when chain doesn't meet proof test value. We also do destructive testing where samples of the welded chain are cut from the production run several times per shift and are pulled to destruction to verify integrity of the weld and other physical properties.
Speaking of destructive testing, let's join our quality inspector at our tensile tester where they're about to test some chain with one of our customers watching the process. Tim, could you please introduce Bob Truitt?
Thank you, Eric. Many of you already know the legend himself, Bob Truitt. Bob's father, Harry, is one of the founding members of AWRF, and his family has been an active part of AWRF ever since then. Bob's the current Vice President, Western Sling, and we're very excited to have you with us for this virtual destruct test. Bob, one of our products is our very popular for Western Sling, and for your customers is our grade 100 Hi-Viz yellow chain. So we're going to pull some Hi-Viz chain to the extremes today. Are you ready to see your chain get destroyed?
Yes, sir. Tim, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, this is going to be a great time today. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to Phil Brayman, who's our engineering manager in our Maryville, Missouri plant, and we're going to walk through the destruct test. Phil, take it away.
Hey, thanks guys. So I'm gonna apologize a little bit. Obviously this is a manufacturing floor, so it can be a little noisy. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So today we've got some 3/8 grade 100 Hi-Viz yellow. So we're gonna do some measurements, show you how their system works, and do a test. So, you know, this is a finished piece of chain, but as it would go through our chain, our process beforehand, our quality system that maintains and tracks all the dimensions and tests. I've also got a drawing pulled up. And so we'll run through the measurements real quick. So first I'm gonna check the pitch, internal 1.208 to 1.232. 1.225. Yep, let go. That looks good. Usually measure 2 lengths or 3. 1.222, 1.223. Yeah, about right on nominal. We'll check our width. We measure a width by the internal mandrel postmark. Touch calipers on one side come across, and because everybody measures a little bit different, it's not quite an exact science. I'm getting like 584, 585.
Hey Phil, can you look down just a little
Check
bit?
another length.
A little out of view. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's a 582. So that looks pretty good. You know, the chain itself is, you know, pretty straight, not crooked. Obviously, the coating looks real good. I'm not sure how well that comes through, but there's the trace code YHC, and obviously there's the L10. So yeah, let's test this.
All right, let's do it.
So this is our tensile tester, and we've got these test blocks. The NACM spec says we're going to test 7 links. So you have to adjust the crosshead so those 7 links fit in there. You're not going to put any tension into the chain. Try to adjust it just so it's just tight. And then Jason will get the camera set up here.
So, Bill, what would happen if you, as he's setting up the camera, what would happen if you had like it was too tight? What would happen?
Well, I mean, if it was too tight beforehand, you're not going to get an accurate number. The other thing, if it wasn't tight enough, or if I didn't wiggle the chain like that, it might, one of the links might sit a little crooked, and then lots of times you'll see in a test where it'll come up, and then that chain link, when you put tension on it, it's crooked. It kind of pops around and it drops, and so that's kind of just gets everything seated and ready for the test. To me, it gives a more consistent and accurate test.
Nice.
All right, so first we'll zero out the load. Start the pump, close the valve.
Here we go.
And there our tests begin. The minimum brake on this is 35,200 according to the NACM. All right, we just passed the NACM minimum brake. You can see the chain's elongating nicely.
There we go.
There we go. Nice yield. Elongation was 31.8%, 31.79. So that was real good.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a nice in shear, good elongation. Yeah, that was a good break.
Hey Phil, why do we want the end to break? Why wouldn't it break somewhere else?
That's a good one. So the end of the link, because of the design of chain itself, we're gonna call it a shear failure instead of a tensile failure. Obviously, a weld break is not desirable, but even sometimes if there is another stress riser or mark on the chain, it might stretch down and break on the back side. But this is the ideal failure that says, hey, the geometry's good, there's no marks, weld was good. Again, good elongation.
How was that? Did you enjoy that?
Yes. Always like to see things break somewhere else, not in the field.
Do you think some of your customers might enjoy seeing a presentation like this?
Yes, because I think there's a lack of knowledge in the industry how chain is made and what is the process. Okay, and people don't get the opportunity, of course, just to go visit your plant. I think this would be a great way to do it. It feels a little more personal than a video, than doing a YouTube video that may be overproduced. But I think people like to see and know and understand that chain is tested, and why chain is tested. Well, I think it's way cool that a old company making an old product, okay, is using 21st century technology.
Technology for technology's sake is fun, but
we're trying to do something that is meaningful for our customers. Bob, I really want to thank you for both being a customer for Laclede as well as for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the destruct test that we've done. And I'd also like to thank Phil and all of the Maryville team and everybody that was involved in this activity. It has been extremely helpful. And so thank you, Phil. Do you have any other last words?
I tell you what, Tim, very impressed with your facility. I appreciate the opportunity that you gave me today to view a test, to learn a little bit more about Laclede, how you do things in your quality control program. Very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I want to say thank you to the Maryville team and just say we destroy our chain in our house so it doesn't destroy your reputation. We all know chain is used in critical applications such as overhead lifting. Accountability and quality are two key ingredients to consider when picking a chain source. As you just witnessed, we exceed chain manufacturing standards, so you have a trusted source. Now, with the HoloLens, you and your customers can witness a live pull test of your chain and actually see through the eyes of our inspectors at Laclede. It's really the next best thing to be in our facility in person, which today, as we all know, is more complicated than ever. Our team can also recall all data that pertains to your chain in a few clicks, thanks to our chain inspection system. We built this transparency into our process to give our customers confidence as well as peace of mind. So I want to thank everyone for attending our session. I'm now going to turn over the Q&A session to Melissa and Eric to answer any questions. Looks like we got a couple good ones, so take it away, Melissa and Eric.
Thanks, Tim. So one of the questions that came in, Melissa, was does the powder coat derate the chain at all?
During our in-house powder coat process, our chain does not reach a temperature above 400 degrees. Therefore, our heat-treated chain does not get exposed to damaging heat. However, similar to most coatings that are applied to chain, the powder coat finish will derate the strength of the chain around 5%. Since this is a known fact, we build that 5% into the strength of the chain. In the customer experience, we saw this practice when the alloy powder coated chain was pulled well above minimum break strength.
So one of the other questions that came in, Melissa, is do we normally test our finished product?
We do not normally test our finished product. For the interaction, though, we wanted to give Bob a chance to witness his product getting tested firsthand. Thank you, Melissa.
One of the other questions that came in was how often do we test, or maybe this might be something for Tim. Were we nervous at all about doing that chain break test in real time?
There's always a chance of a failure of a chain not passing the test, but in this case, we were not nervous. We test our Hi-Viz grade 100 chain very, very often, and no, we were not nervous about it.
We have one other one. This may go back to the other question that I asked before from Melissa. How often do we test the chain, Melissa?
Good question, Eric. There are really two answers. We proof load all of our heat treated chain to 2 times the working load limit twice in our process. Once during the chain making process and again after heat treat. Let me say this again. Every link of our heat treated chain is proof loaded to 2 times the working load limit twice before it leaves our facility. We also destruct chain on a routine basis. The number of times can vary depending on how well the machine is running. At the very least, we destruct chain every 4 hours during normal operation. However, we also destruct test the chain for other occasions, such as if we start a new bin box, when we load new wire onto the group, install new coppers, make any kind of adjustments to the group that could affect the integrity of the weld. Our sample heat treater allows us to test the green or soft chain to mimic our production line heat treater. This allows us to make sure that what we're producing on our groups will later meet the minimum break strength after it has gone through the entire process. On average, I would say we test at least 5 to 10 times per batch, and each batch is roughly 4,000 pounds. After the chain has been heat treated and in our proof test process, the chain will be destruct tested around 3 to 5 additional times. All of these tests are recorded and stored for future reference in chain inspection via the trace code that is stamped on the chain.
Thank you, Melissa. And it looks like we are just out of time. Tim, do you want to finish us off?
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you for all the great questions and for attending our session today. I want to give a special shout out to Bob Truitt from Western Sling for being a guest. And from all of us at Laclede Chain, have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much.